Welcome to Legally Everywhere, where we are what?
You will hear that there is some discussion that is made about mission accomplished, the term. So I did place that visual even in the cover. Essentially, when you hear mission accomplished, it's usually frequently used as nowadays, it's kind of more so a phrase used to state that pretty much someone claimed victory a little too early. And that was something that was said during the time of the Bush administration. Like, mission accomplished. We will definitely be able to break down the visuals. I did provide some of that historical information in the video with this as the cover, but we will listen to the audio portion of them having the discussion. I also showed that we can see right around February 6th, what we also just saw, but we had a document that came out of the UN that was happening around that time as well. An executive order that happened here in the United States under President Trump's administration. February 6th of this year said address threats to the United States by the government of Iran, right? So before those strikes actually occurred, and before the war, this actually was already put in as an executive order. There's several executive orders, and we will be diving in those, as you know, on this channel as well. But just to kind of put some of those foundations there, those are some opportunities to look into some other things that might help you actually process and think about how you want to look at the events that are occurring, right? So we're going to go ahead and play some of the audio. Let's see. Is there anything else I really wanted you to see? Okay. Yep, we're going to come to the legal questions pretty soon. Okay, so you see that we do have 3 legal questions. Was the conflict legally justified? Was the response proportional? And were diplomatic options exhausted, right? Because essentially when we're talking about the United Nations, the idea is to be peaceful. The idea is to come to a resolution. The idea is that, you shouldn't have fear that another place is going to come and do anything to you. And there should be a certain level of checks and balances and accountability that happens, right? So let us listen to this discussion now that we have actually seen and read what the UN's response was, right?
And killed by the Iranian regime, their own.
So this is the Alizara recording. This is a live recording that I was able to do on the 12th of March, which was 2 days ago. And I'm going to go ahead and play it for you right now.
Yes, thousands of people have been killed by the Iranian regime, their own people. Of course, human rights, this is an organization that's been conducting terrorism in the region and supporting state-sponsored terrorism for really 47 years. That's very clear. It's attacked American soldiers. It's killed. It was behind the U.S.'s cold attack and the rest of it. So to defend the Iranian regime that is a threat to world and regional security, to me, is unbelievable that certainly any American could support that. Keep in mind that the guest from the United States works for a Secretary of State that he's concerned about money that spent trillions of dollars in a war effort that failed to occupy Iraq and Afghanistan and lied in the United Nations about weapons of mass destruction. So this is a curious turn of events on this. But the fact before us today, this off-ramp, we're on the ramp. We're on the way to 4 to 6 weeks to eliminate this regime.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, okay. That was under your watch.
All right, let's give Fly the chance to.
That was so you have
accomplished. Okay, gentlemen, we will have time.
Mission accomplished. Let's have 2 guests representing Iran here. So you have the mission accomplished was a statement by President Bush to your viewers now.
Understood.
Secretary Powell and Mr. Wilkinson worked for the president that said that. The difference is President Trump will accomplish the mission. Again, we haven't even been in 2 weeks into this conflict. Our mission here is to destroy the military capabilities of a regime that is brutal, barbaric to its own people, and threatens security.
Okay, you've made that point clear, Adolfo.
Yesterday,
and I've given you
135 countries lined up on a resolution.
We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's go over to Fadi Zadi in Tehran. I know you want to come back in on some of those things, but I do want to put a point to move the discussion along. What will be Iran's position on a unilateral US announcement of an end to the war? Will Iran accept that and say, fine, if the US says it's mission accomplished, we just walk away?
They need to make sure two things happen. The first thing is that they want to make sure that the country is not attacked by two nuclear regimes every few months. You cannot run a country when the United States and Israel attack you whenever they want illegally
How would Iran guarantee that?
They could say it. Trump could come and say that we are done with attacking Iran. He could say that as long as I'm president.
Would Iran trust the word of Donald Trump, given the history of this?
That would help. Trusting Trump would be a difficult thing to do, but him saying it would be useful. The second thing would be the creation of a setup to compensate Iran. The Trump administration and Netanyahu have devastated Iran's civilian infrastructure. They have killed thousands of innocent people. They need to pay. They need to pay Iran. They need to compensate Iran. And it could be done through leveling tax on ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. It could be done through different things. But until they realize that changing Iran's government is a pipe dream, they will try to repeat this huge mistake again. Trump has managed to unite Iranians more than any Iranian politician could ever do. They're basing their policies on ideas that are not going to work, and they're killing a lot of people in the process. Iran needs to make sure that this stops.
All right. Very, very briefly, I repeat briefly, Adolfo, I want to give you a chance to answer one point before I go to Lawrence, but please, very briefly, do you see any scenario in any parallel universe, shall we say, in which the Donald Trump administration will accept those kinds of conditions from Iran? Briefly, please.
Absolutely. That is the most ludicrous statement I have heard from a totalitarian, brutal regime. The compensation will come with the elimination of the regime's.
Genocidal people.
Genocidal is your dictatorship turning on your own people, and your dictatorship sponsor terrorism throughout the region.
All right, it's a good time out, gentlemen. Let's take a moment to give Lawrence a chance to speak, because he's been waiting patiently.